My name is Pascal, and today I want to show you how to record with a microphone. I'm not a sound engineer, I'm just a regular guy, probably just like you, that have struggled to get a decent quality of audio for a very long time. Now, I think I did get to something and I just want to share it with you. I do use 3 types of microphone depending of the situation to achieve my recording. And the process is very simple every time. I don't have a lot of time to spend on my audio quality, but I want something that sounds great. Rule number 1, with any mic you use, you will always need a recorder. Actually, the one that I use is my camera, but it can also be your phone, it can be your computer, or it can also be this device that is portable and I like a lot, the Zoom H5. Really, if you're looking for something great to start, the link is in the description. It's really an awesome device. It's portable. You have 2 capsules on top. You can connect XLR microphone in it. It records on the SD card, and it can also be used as a device to record on your computer. It's a capture card. It's just do a lot. That's an awesome device. But the rule is to always set your recorder to manual. Unless maybe you move from various environments in the same recording, like for example from inside to outside in the middle of downtown in the rush hour. The main reason why you want to leave it on manual is that if you leave it on automatic, you will often have stability issue. Okay, let's do an example with my Sony a7R4. It's actually on automatic and you should be able to hear something quite decent now. Well, of course, I'm not using the microphone of the camera itself. I am using another microphone that I put on top. Not the biggest guy, but it does something great. The thing is that if I stop talking just right now, just because I need to think, the camera will start increasing the gain just because I think that I want to record the environment. But I'm not. So as soon as I start thinking, so as soon as the silence starts, you should be able to hear my environment becoming louder and louder and louder. So just that already is very, very bad. But the worst is when I start talking again. I don't know if you realize it, but my first word was totally distorted. The gain became way too high into that silence, which totally destroyed my first word before readjusting itself again to the volume of my voice. Let's do it one more time. And I'm back speaking at the very same volume with my first word probably fully distorted. Actually, I did some tweaking on my camera so that it doesn't sound this bad. Unfortunately, I'm not able to put my camera in fully manual on the audio side. So for that example, I did enhance the effect that my camera did record to adjust it to a level that I heard many times on other camera or before I did this adjustment. All that to say that always use a manual gain if possible. And now how to adjust it. Okay, so from this moment I will use the raw audio of this microphone. Well, in fact, I did had to apply a bit of my magic sauce to the audio, otherwise it would have sound like this. So from this moment, I will use the raw audio of this microphone. So for you to better understand what I was saying, and also it doesn't change the explanation, you will get what I was talking about. So, well, let's keep going on. That is actually connected in my recorder so you can hear exactly what I will hear. Then you will connect a pair of headphones. You can use those cheap one. That's perfect, but actually I'm not gonna use those ones because they are so terrible that I would not hear much. So I'm not recommending those kind of headphone, but that's what I'm going to do for that tutorial video. I will connect it inside here. I have my, if it can focus, yeah, we got the headphone jack, so I'm connecting it right here. And now I can hear myself. And okay, the reason why I'm not recommending this kind of headphone is for two reasons. First one is because they are, actually it's only one reason. It's because they are open back. Open back headphone means that you can hear everything inside the room. It cut about 2 or 3% of what you can hear without it. There's almost no difference. The great thing about this is that there's an airflow and you don't get wet inside. The thing that is not good is that it works the same way inside the other direction. So if you are close to me, you would be able to hear my voice over the outside of my headphones. So my microphone can also hear it. So if you're recording, well, actually you don't hear it, so that's fine. But if you're doing a voiceover, I would try to avoid this kind of headphone for this. The other reason, and I will drop the volume so you don't get blood in your ears, is that you can get a feedback. Feedback, I will not put my head inside it while I do it, is something like this. Not a great sound. That's the reason why you don't want to have open back headphone for this, but still, I'm doing it today. So now, how to adjust it? And as I said, you hear the same thing as I hear right now. So I take my recorder, and actually you see I'm connected inside the port number 1. I did enable the port number 1 over here, and I will drop the volume to 0. Well, actually, if I do that just right now, you won't be able to hear me. So the thing is, you will want to drop it to 0 and increase it until you hear the background noise. And you see, now we can hear that famous background noise. I will crank it up even more, so just to make sure you can hear it. This is what we call a background noise. And actually, I'm not speaking very, very high. If I crank it to the maximum, well, actually, I'm just speaking at very, very, very low volume, and you can hear me the same way if I take it down over here and I speak normally and even a bit more loudly than normal. I was speaking like this, just like this. When it was here, I'm speaking in the very same volume. So the thing that you want to do is to crank it until you hear it. So now we can hear it, and you drop it down until you barely hear it. You will hear it just a little bit. Just like that. 5.5 seems fine to me. And then what you will need to check is that you don't go over the 0 here. When you do clip, it's mean distortion. When you do those distortion, there is something very obvious that will let you know. Actually, on this one, there is that light here that would blink if I would clip. But actually, I'm very, very far away from clipping. Might be too low. It's not great to have it that low, but still we will be able to adjust it in post-production. And actually, if I correct my voice in post-production, that sounds like this. And this is just a little tweaking, very easy to do that we will see. Well, not into that video. Into the video you can see on the upper right corner, just right now. So, the only thing you have to do is to crank the volume until you hear the background noise. You take it down just till you can barely hear it, and then you make sure that your voice does not clip over here. That means getting to the very other end. Second most important thing, get the mic the closest to your mouth as possible and try to remain at the same distance. Clip mics or lavalier mic are awesome. They are always at the same distance wherever I move, and they remain close to my mouth. Studio mic will give you the best sound quality, that's for sure. But if you film yourself, it will be visible. They give the best sound quality because they are close. And don't try to heat it. As close as possible doesn't mean to put it in your mouth. The best way to get the greatest sound quality with that kind of microphone is with a cloud lifter. It will increase the gain without increasing the background noise. If you can't get your mic close to your mouth, there is still the shotgun microphone solution. This one captures the sound in a very narrow angle in front of it, so you can't get it further away. But still, there is a difference between very close, quite close, not so close, and very far away. But again, this is terrible as this is because it's a room terrible for audio. If I was outside, that would be much better. But still, closer, better. The distance is your enemy. Other than that, there's a few basic rules. The audio environment is very important. Small room is better, but more importantly, the absorption of it is even more crucial. There is a lot of echo in a huge room like the one I'm in right now. It is visually interesting, but it's terrible for the sound. This is why I need to keep the mic as close to me as possible, otherwise it's a nightmare. But there's still a limit to what the distance can achieve. Even if it's close here, I'm in a big room with no furniture, with brick wall, window, all things that reflect audio, well, it's always gonna be terrible. For example, I'm back in my huge room, but this one has some furniture, so it's already better. And just because I'm standing here next to my sofa, I have more absorption. And if I isolate myself a little bit more just like that, well, my voice is mostly stuck into that environment that is absorbed by the furniture, and it's prevented a bit to go bouncing on every wall and come back. So just by doing it, I should have something that is already better. Now, if I do a similar kind of example, but this time right in front of my brick wall, well, clearly you can hear that this creates a reflection, and it was sounding way much better on the sofa. Likewise, try to get rid of every avoidable sound. Maybe you don't hear it that much, but your fridge does a lot of sound. This is why I connected mine on a smart connector. This way I can ask, "Hey Google, give me silence for an hour." And it's so much better. I have left link in the description if you have $20 to spend on your audio quality. Your AC unit as well. Come on, shut it off. So much better. It's all those very stable background noise that you end up to not hear anymore, but when you shut it off, it makes a huge difference. Imagine, we already have seen my fridge, we have seen my AC unit, and this is my ventilation system. Wow! And now I do hear the clicking noise of my clock. then I should remove the battery. Also, shutting your window is a good idea. Especially for me, because I live in a city downtown. But even if you live in the middle of nowhere, you can have some sound of wind, of birds, of someone passing the lawnmower somewhere very far away. You always have those little sounds that can pass through your window. Can you hear the difference? This is now. And this is before. And this is now. See? Get rid of those little background noise. If you just need to record your voice for a voiceover, you don't need an expensive audio booth to do that. Your closet is probably the best place you can do it at home if you don't have a walk-in. You just take your cloth, bring it in a beautiful triangle just like that, and you can do your voiceover right into that position. And the sound quality is amazing. You see? A walk-in do a super great job. It's a small room and it's full of fabric to absorb all the sound. After that, of course, the gear can make all the difference. But a cheap mic, like the one of your microphone, will always do a better job rather than the best mic in a terrible environment. I left you some links in the description to my favorite gear. The next step will be to do some tweaking in post-production. For this, I invite you to take a look at the video just right here or in the description. For now, that will be it for today. I hope this was helpful. If you have any question, you can contact me with the comment just below. And I hope to see you in another video. See ya!